Hey folks, so I'm here for another full moon, well, eclipse forecast for you guys. My God, I'm already feeling the heavy energy, the heady energy of this eclipse. So we're going to get into it. So stay tuned for this is like a transmission and helping you understand the energy that we're in right now so that you can harness it and be in sync with it in your own life. So, as I was feeling into this, the eclipse, and this is a solar eclipse, which means it's a new moon with the eclipse, is happening on the 21st of September at 29 degrees and 4 minutes of Virgo. So, we're in this earth sign. The first eclipse happened in Pisces, and we are now on that Pisces Virgo axis. And this is like a wake up call to Virgo is very much about being of service. How can you support humanity with your vision, with your gifts, with your talents, and literally be of service? And it's a real calling home to you beyond your mind, beyond your ego, right? And there is a lot of heavy energy with this new moon. It's like Mercury is quite strong there. So if you're feeling like things feel quite cloudy and you're over analyzing and you're sort of too detail oriented, just know that this is the eclipse that is bringing this to the surface to help you be more aware of those patterns where you get into perfectionism, where you get into overanalyzing. And I know I've really been observing my patterns recently. It's like when I go into procrastination mode, I know there's part of me that is avoiding something. It's another strategy for avoidance. And we all have these strategies. We all have these patterns that help us stay in survival, right? Because if we overcame the patterns, our ego doesn't feel safe. So this Virgo moon, what I want to say about this is really, and I didn't say it's happening at 7:54 p.m. GMT time. Um, this new moon is really calling you into that gut feeling, that intuitive knowing, wherever you feel that. I know not everyone experiences gut feeling, so really get in tune with that. Is it, what is your intuitive strength? Is it you see things, feel things, hear things, sense things, just know things? Really get in touch with your whatever that is, clairsentient, clairvoyant, all of those. Get in touch with those intuitive superpowers of yours because this will really help you navigate that heady energy. Because when we get in the heady energy, we're not in our soul, we're not in our heart anymore. We're in the ego brain that is trying to control the outcome, right? We want to shift back to the soul, the heart that knows exactly what the next step is. So it's being mindful not to be heady and overthinking. If there's things you're procrastinating on, like if it's a mammoth mountain that it feels like that I can often get stuck in, is like, okay, come back to what is the next step and align with your inner knowing first. That is how we move through this heady energy. Um, And there's an interesting aspect here because there's like a sense of, eclipses can bring things to the surface that are quite uncomfortable. And so if you felt like you're in the dark or you're kind of really confused about your soul's calling, that how you can be of service, maybe in your business, the offerings that you want to create, or something's not working. This is like going to liberate you from that mental realm and help you come back into deep knowing and to create from that deep knowing space within, right? That is the only way I ever want to create things. I'm really being more aware of when my ego's like, right, we're going to create this because then that will bring the money in and then blah, 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 No. So if you've been in that mode, know that this new moon is calling you home to your feminine energy because Virgo also speaks to that harvest goddess, that the fertility goddess that sows new seeds, that creates new life. So what new life are you seeding at this new moon? This is an opportunity of a new beginning. And in beginnings are also endings, right? So what needs to fall away to create space for that new beginning? Um, I always find that starts to be illuminated before the new moon on a dark moon, the balsamic moon. You start to see threads of things that are coming into being. Um, and I can say that I've been sort of do you know, I'll be really honest. I've held a lot of shame, and I'll voice this because you might relate, is, having a business, if you're not earning the money you want, you failed or like something's gone wrong. No, I was making it mean that it's not. It's a journey to following our soul, which is not a linear path. And I've had like odd jobs on the side for the last 6 years. I've had shame around that, and it's only recently I've started to unpick that. My ego thinks I'm defined by what I do, which is bullshit. And am stepping into, another side gig to support myself because I don't want to put pressure on my creation because that's when then I create from ego, and that's a needy, desperate energy that I do not want to be in anymore. So I'm calling myself out on that. So it might be that you need to find new structures and like a new form of stability that can really help you be of service to help you stay aligned with your soul vision and your soul's calling in this life. Um, and be liberated from something in the way that your structure has been. There's a liberation and a breakthrough around that. Um, and also it's really interesting. There's a lot of trines at this eclipse, which are really positive. It's like the moon trine Pluto. Pluto is, people are scared of Pluto. It's all about digging deep into the underworld, doing the shadow work. And it can be uncomfortable, right, to be initiated into that realm. This is like helping us really claim our inner power, right? Although I talk about these astrology, they're outer energies, but these archetypes also live within you. So whatever is happening in the collective is just a mirror to help you connect in with these parts of yourself within yourself. That is all it is, right? Um, and it's like this energy is really supporting us to help claim our inner power, come back to our deep soul, the deep truth, right? No superficial facades. Help us shine a light on the stuff that feels superficial, that doesn't feel real and authentic. And I know that word authentic is used a lot, but like real and raw and truthful. Um, and we've had that tension with the Saturn and Neptune conjunction for a while. It is splitting, so there's a bit less pressure for us to work hard. It may be like we felt we have to work hard, but it's also the actions feel really confused. We know we're like trundling along, but it almost feels a bit foggy. That will start to clear. Um, and there's this real tension point of like, okay, but what's the illusion that I'm stuck in? Humans love to be an illusion. Ego loves to tell us the illusion and help us see through the rose-tinted glasses. So what are those rose-tinted glasses you're literally looking at something through? And what is the lesson in that illusion, right? There's a real feeling of it's like a muddy tunnel. See, like a green light tunnel, but it's also, again, bringing us back to our body wisdom. I can't stress this enough. It's like if you're confused and you don't know the next step to take, come back to your body, come back to your body wisdom, because that is where the answer is. It is not outside of you. It is not in me, in a guru, in a teacher. It is within you. Coming back to your body wisdom, people. This is super key. Um, that will liberate you and come back to your pure creative nature, right? The only reason we get pulled off course is because of these internal patterns we go into, these natural patterns that are coping mechanisms, right? It's literally all caused from our trauma. And once you see you're going into it, it's pulling yourself back into it. This is where astrology and archetypes can be so powerful to help you really see those hidden parts so they no longer have control over you, right? Um, yeah. And there's a lot of mutable energy at this eclipse. So we're adapting, we are, molding, and some of the things maybe that you have been working on doesn't feel right. This eclipse is going to expose that. And I know it's like really going to show you what is truth. So you can be radically honest with yourself. Often we hide the truth from ourselves, which doesn't help. Again, ego protection. But if you really allow yourself to see the truth, what is that truth? What is that bigger vision you're being shown? That is divinely guided. Like, if you fully allow yourself to be in the uncomfortable emotions, that's where you come back to your truth. It's not in avoiding that stuff or pushing it under a rock. Honestly, I used to do that. I know that well. It's literally in meeting these parts of you that you've pushed away for so long. They want to be seen, they want to be felt. And this energy at this new moon can bring us into that over analyzing perfectionist tendency. So get really clear, just notice if you take anything away from this video, notice when are you going into that perfectionism, and what are your perfectionist tendencies? What do they look like? What is the thought patterns behind that and the behaviors that happen when you go into that perfectionist mode, right? Um, and it's like there's almost this real primal life force that's going to be liberated if you're willing to go into those shadows, to willing to sit with those things that you've been avoiding. That's when true energy and inspiration and your magical soul wisdom and medicine can come through, can be seen and felt and channeled into your work, not from the head. Nothing happens from the head. So this Virgo new moon, well, the eclipse is really teaching us, where do we criticize ourselves and how can we come back to empathy, Pisces, compassion, and see it for what it is, see it for what it is, and understand and learn from those situations because everything is happening for you, even the sucky stuff. And this is the work that I'm delving into in a container right now. It's so powerful. And it's like, you know, look at the work of in Existential Kink, the book. It's like everything is working for us. And these energies are always helping to shine a light on these, parts of us that are wounded, that are, the wounded parts of you, all they want is to be seen and witnessed, right? Even the parts of you that you carry such shame and judgment around, they just want to be felt. And even if you just start sitting with those parts yourself and making space, they start to soften and dissipate. And if you want to dive deeper, you know where I am. And on that point, I just want to share that I have Awaken the Dark Feminine 1 day immersion that is going to be incredible next Saturday. It is in person, but it's really being with the shadow self, liberating these hidden parts of you that actually take up so much energy from you pushing them down. When you can finally feel them and let them be, that's when you awaken so much life force energy and your real raw creative expression can come through. That's when your soul wisdom is guiding everything, every step of the way. So I will leave the details below this video. But yeah, there is a real sense of radical as well, like radical actions, um, being dynamic. There's something around being dynamic versus having an emotional connection with things. So your heart's got to be in something if you're taking the action. That's what it's saying. Your heart's got to be in it. Your passion's got to be in something. If it's going to last, if it's going to sustain you and sustain, whatever you're offering your business, it's got to come from the heart. It's got to come from that passion, that creative life force. And that is the learning here to take all the wisdom that you've learned, all the lessons, you know, all that knowledge that you have in abundance and allow it to propel you forwards, to teach that to, I even know I have so much knowledge on moon cycles. I'm like, I need to teach this stuff more. I need to offer workshops on this. Whatever it is that you know a lot about, go out and teach it. That's a real theme right now. How can you teach it and share that wisdom with more people? Yeah, I feel like that's what I want to share with you. And one more aspect. There is a real expansion around our soul path. And the soul path is not something that's easy, right? The North Node asks that we grow and we are stretched. A place where wherever the North Node is in your chart is a place of self-mastery, but it doesn't come naturally to you. Um, so there's a sense of you being stretched in your soul path in some way. It might be an initiation. And it's like there's a real opportunity to expand your emotional capacity, and your ability to feel more deeply in the work you do. It might be the way you deliver it, the space you hold. There's something around that. If you're in a healing profession, this specifically speaks to. If you're doing energy work, it's almost like your emotional capacity expands for what you can hold in that space. But yeah, that's what I want to share with you guys. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was illuminating. I always love hearing from you. Share what is alive for you at this time in the comments. I would love to hear what is happening in your world. And so much love, my dears. Bye for now.